Hello, Grand Park community. Happy New Year. I missed all of you. I hope that if you celebrated holidays, they were quiet and merry. And in the theme of a new year, I know it can be tempting to want to set big goals, big intentions, and in my experience, whenever I've tried to do that, they tend to fade within a couple weeks because they're these like grandiose ideas that are a little hard to be actionable. And I just wanted to talk about intentions through the lens of yoga philosophy. In yoga philosophy, intention is loosely a concept called sankalpa. And this is the practice of small, intentional, I know it's intentional moments in our lives. And to me, yoga philosophy has always reminded me that in any moment, in any breath, I can evaluate how I'm moving through the world and choose a different pattern, choose a different action or behavior. So I would encourage all of us to consider that for setting our New Year's intentions, resolutions, whatever you want to call it, to continue throughout the year, throughout each day, checking in, having awareness of our minds, having awareness over our actions, and seeing how we're showing up. So we're going to work on intentions this week. We're going to keep it simple. So today I invite us all to choose an intention for our practice, something that is actionable, something that we can keep coming back to on our mat. We'll all have a different one. And intentions are helpful if they're positive, if they're really simple. So maybe your intention could be to listen to your body. Maybe your intention could be to challenge yourself. So something that is like a short phrase that when I remind you of your intention as we're practicing today, something that you can go, oh yeah, I'm working on listening. Oh yeah, I'm working on kindness. And in my experience, when we physically practice these things, they start showing up in our lives. So it's almost like muscle memory. When I get an idea in my physical body, I'm better able to move from that space. Sometimes I have to remind myself, sometimes not. But let's find a tall seat so we can set our intention together. And I think it's really beautiful. We can all have a different intention and work together on those intentions in a communal way. So find your tall spine. Maybe close your eyes. If not, take a soft gaze at the floor or eye level. And just start to notice your body in space. So noticing what's touching earth. Starting to bring some conscious breath into the body. Allowing that breath to draw you into the here and the now. Maybe even starting to slow down the breath, so you being in charge of the way that you're breathing. Checking in with your mind, knowing where the mind is. And then if the mind isn't here, perhaps calling it in to be engaged and present in practice today. And then let's all draw our hands to our hearts. So placing your hands on your actual heart, feel your heart beating. And intentions tend to work really well when they come from our hearts. So not from this like lofty idea of who we want to be, but really feeling into our hearts. So what is true in your heart? What is something you would like to celebrate or practice on your mat today? So it doesn't have to be something you're deficient in. Maybe it's to remind yourself of joy. Maybe it's to challenge yourself on your mat and keep going. Maybe it's that idea of listening to the body. So try to pick a verb that is actionable. And then if you have to add a couple other little words, you could also keep it simple, like kindness or strength, anything that's going to keep you engaged in your practice. And keep searching for a word or a phrase until it rings true in your heart, until you get excited about possibly trying to practice it. And then take a couple breaths into your word or your phrase. And if you're coming up short, I'll just offer one that is always a good thing to practice, is to be present. That's a great one to try to engage with so that we're showing up as we are in all our lives. Sealing your hands together, bowing your chin into your chest, acknowledging your intention for practice. And then let's find ourselves 2 hands and knees. So setting yourself up, placing your wrists underneath your shoulders. Knees are underneath your hips. Think your intention to yourself. And then as you start to inhale, move with that intention. As you exhale, curl your spine. Feel that intention in your body. Inhale, belly drops, heart rises. Exhale, curl everything up and in. Inhale, belly drops, heart rises. Exhale, curl everything up and in. 2 more times. Inhale, moving with the quality of this intention. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. From here, find your neutral spine, tuck your toes. And then we're going to lift up in the knees, pulling the belly to the spine. So a little bit of core work. This is a great place to practice your intention. When things get challenging, when the mind starts questioning why you're doing this, pull it back to your intention. Exhale, set your knees down, release the tops of your feet. Take your hands 1 handprint forward, and we're going to make big circles in the hips. So letting your hips drop down, coming around to your ankles, making big circles with the body in one direction. And it doesn't have to look like mine, just listening intuitively, moving from your intention. And then we'll switch the direction of our circles the other way. From here, tuck your toes, send your hips up and back, placing as much bend in your knees as you need today for the backs of the legs, letting the head go. Maybe shaking it yes, no, and maybe so to make sure you're not holding any tension in the neck. Press the weight forward into your hands, armpits hugging in. Heels reaching to the earth, but they never have to get there. Bending the knees, sending your heart back for your thighs. Take a couple full breaths into your heart, into your intention, allowing that to support your pose. And then looking towards your hands, step your feet. We'll find ourselves into a forward fold. Maybe grabbing opposite elbows, maybe letting your fingertips dangle. Definitely bend your knees if the backs of the hamstrings are tight. Let your head go, glue your feet to the earth. Say your intention to yourself. And then start to roll up, owning that intention for your practice today. Mountain pose. Settle the shoulders away from your ears. Puff up your chest. Standing tall in yourself, in your intention. And we'll start to really move now. So inhale, rise your arms. Exhale, bow your heart. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold your heart. Inhale, rise your arms tall to the sky. Exhale, draw your hands to your heart. 2 more times. Inhale the arms. Exhale, fold the body in half. Inhale, reach your heart forward, flat back. Exhale, fold your heart. Inhale, rise yourself tall. Exhale, draw your hands to heart. 1 more time. Inhale it up. Exhale, fold yourself. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold yourself. Inhale, rise yourself tall. Keep your arms up. Grab your right wrist with your left hand. Ground down into your right foot. Reach up and over to the left. Maybe look up. Maybe look at eye level. Breathe into your right side body. Fill it with your intention. Fill your breath with your intention. Inhale back to center. Grab your left wrist with right hand. Ground down into left foot. And then reaching over to the right. Inhale back to center. Hands come to your heart. Let's sink our hips down and back for our first chair pose. So like we're sitting in an itty bitty chair. Arms extend out from your shoulders. Make sure you can see your toes. Weight is in the heels, belly scooping back to your spine. This is a great place to remember your intention. Remember why you're showing up today, what you're practicing on your mat that hopefully you'll take off your mat into your day. 1 more gigantic breath here. And then as you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, walk yourself out to a plank. Let's hold here for a couple breaths. Remember, plank can be knees down on the mat, press into your knuckles, lift up out of it. Steady your breath. Use your intention if it's helpful. And then hips come up and back, downward facing dog. Look to your hands, step your right foot for your right hand, spin your back foot flat. Come on up, warrior 1. So right hip is reaching back, outer edge of the back left foot is pressing down firmly. The shoulders are stacked over the hips. We're grounding down, we're rising heart. We're settling gaze on one point. Breathe with your intention. And then exhale, hands come down to frame your front foot. Step your right foot back, downward facing dog. Left foot steps on your inhale, back foot spins flat. Press down into your feet, rise yourself tall. We're on warrior 1. Left side, left hip reaching back. Outer edge of the right blade of your foot is pressing down. Rise your heart, soften in your elbows, activate your hands. So be engaged in your practice, steady your gaze, fill the shape with breath. And then as you exhale, hands come down to earth, plank. Downward facing dog, or if you need a child's pose, if that would be in support of your intention, please take your child's pose. So we're going to come in for 2 rounds of flow, connecting breath with movement. See if you can use your intention as a way to keep you engaged in your flow. So keep practicing that intention as we go through our sun bees. Look towards your hands, step your feet. Here's our first round. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands come down, plank, downward facing dog. Right foot steps, inhale, warrior one. Exhale, hands come down, plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot through, back foot spins flat, warrior one. Exhale, hands come down, plank, downward facing dog. We'll take 3 breaths here. You could also rest in child's pose if your breath is a little erratic. From here, look between your hands, step those feet. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold in half. Inhale, sink your hips, chair pose. Exhale, fold the body in half. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down, plank, downward facing dog. Right foot steps, inhale, warrior one. Exhale, hands come down, plank, downward facing dog. Left foot steps, warrior one, inhale up. Exhale, hands come down, plank, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Regroup. I sound like a broken record, but remembering your intention, keeping that the focus of your practice. From here, looking towards your hands, step your right foot for your right hand. We're going to stay up on the ball of the back foot. So right knee is stacked over the right ankle, just like in warrior one, except the back, we're up on the ball of the back toes. So come on up. You can put as much bend in your back knee as you need. You could even set that knee down on the earth. Crescent lunge, rise your heart. And then we'll add a little twist here. So left hand comes down to the floor, a block, a book, anything, even a pillow. Rise your right arm up. And then we're going to do something a little crazy today, a little new. We're going to come into a side plank. Some of us will put our left knee down. Some of us will spin to the blade of our back foot and then add your right foot to the top of your left foot. If this is like crazy talk, you could put your left knee down and still come to the outer edge of your back foot. So wherever you're taking your side plank today, use your intention, press down into your bottom hand, pull up in your hips, and then exhale, right hand comes down, plank, to your downward facing dog. Regroup your breath. Other side, look towards your hands. Step your left foot for your left hand, staying up on the ball of the back foot. Crescent lunge on the left. Stabilize your pose. Grow your heart tall. Active hands, shoulders away from ears. And then send your right hand down to the earth or a block, pillow, anything to prop up your hands so you can reach the floor. Left arm comes tall. Find your twist. And then we're going to come into our side angle on this side. So you might just spin to the outer edge of your back foot and then stack your left foot on top. You might place your right knee down and take the modified version. So wherever you are, lift up in your hips, press down into your knuckles of your right hand. How's your breath? What's happening in the mind? Can you use your intention to help? And then left hand comes down, plank. Let's all find a child's pose. So knees come wide, big toes come together to touch, sink your hips back, and then settle your forehead down, maybe on stacked fists. Regroup, let your body be heavy, find your intention. And this is a great opportunity, just like in life, if practice has been frustrating or you're fighting yourself, now is a great time to reset, regroup. We still have a lot of class left, so just deciding how we want to show up for the rest of class. And if your intention isn't exciting you anymore, you can always switch it to a new one. So option to rest if you need more rest. If you're ready to move on, pressing yourself back, downward facing dog. We'll switch to using the left foot first here. So we're going to step the left foot in between the hands, spin the back foot to a 45. We're coming into warrior two. I'm going to fix my hair. I cut bangs, regretted it right as I did it. Anybody with me on that one? Spread your arms out to the sides, gaze to your left middle finger. Take up space here. Use your intention to support the pose. How's your breath? As you inhale, extend your left leg straight, send your hips back. Send your left fingertips forward and then tap your left hand down to your left shin. Rise your right arm tall. So triangle pose, lifting up in your heart. How's your breath? Inhale back, warrior two. And then we'll extend that leg again. Take your toes to point in, so we're in a wide leg straddle. Let's interlace the hands to the base of the spine or grab opposite elbows. Send your heart tall and then fold your heart forward. You can press into the outer edges of your foot. You can bend your knees as much as you need. Let your head go here. Press into your feet, rise yourself up, and then we'll switch to the other side. So you'll be facing the back of your space, right foot comes forward, and we'll face the back of our mats, warrior two on the right. So big sink of your right knee, gazing over your right middle finger. Settle your shoulders away from your ears. This is a warrior pose, so can you fill this shape with a lot of powerful breath, peaceful breath? Can you be a warrior of your intention? And when you notice you're not doing it, notice and then you do it. That is the practice. On your inhale, extend your right leg, reach forward, 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 hips reach back. Right hand comes down, left arm reaches for the sky or the ceiling. Lift up in your heart, fill shape with breath. On your inhale, passing through warrior two, we'll extend that leg straight again. Take your heel toe until the feet are a little wider than your hips. Send your toes out, heels in, and then we'll sit down into our Yogi Squat. So Yogi Squat is not some people's favorite thing in the world. You could come to sit up on something, so a pillow, a blanket that's folded over. You could place a blanket underneath your heels if your heels aren't reaching. And if it's not for you, you can just sit on your bum. Draw your hands towards a prayer position, maybe some gentle pressure inside your knees, and then grow your spine tall. So reaching your tailbone and your head away from each other. Maybe close your eyes, settle into your breath. And then go ahead and sit down on your bottom. So we'll take the soles of the feet together here. So knees come wide, soles of feet come together. If this is a lot of stretch on your inner thighs, you could place your hands behind your hips and just lean into breathing into your inner thighs. If you have a little more space, maybe reaching your heart forward, little pressure of elbows to inner thighs. We'll breathe a few breaths here. So maybe settling your chin to your chest. Keep reaching your heart either up if you're seated up, or if you're folded forward, reach your heart forward. Shoulders away from ears pretty much all the time. From here, lift yourself up on your inhale if you're folded. Let's keep our right foot where it is. Extend your left leg out. So we're going to come into a lower back stretch and a behind the leg stretch. This is good if you have low back tension. It's good for the hamstrings. So shall we do it? Yes. Okay. So hands come to frame your extended left leg. Left shoulder's reaching back. So the twist is going to help with stretching out the low back here. So left shoulder reaches back. For some of us, this will be enough stretch. If your hamstring's really tight, you might want to put something underneath your hamstring. So a blanket, a pillow, just so you're not constricting and causing more tension in the body. Relax your jaw. And then for some of us, we'll start to fold the heart for your left pinky toe. So we're focusing on that twist to create some stretch and relief for the back. If the jaw is getting tight, soften it. Let things that don't have to work, let those go. Let the breath flow through. Keep reaching your heart for your pinky toe on the left foot. And then reach your heart up. Left hand comes inside your extended leg. Right arm reaches out to the side. And then keeping your heart reaching up, reach your hand for your left toes. But the heart is reaching up. So it's less of a constricted pose and it's more of an opening across the heart and the right side body. Inhale back to center. We'll switch our legs. So this time the left foot comes in, the right leg extends out. See what's going on in the back of this leg. Sometimes it can be a surprise. The right shoulder is reaching back. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you put a blanket or a towel underneath the back of your right thigh. And then start to fold your heart forward if that is an option for you. So heart reaching for the pinky toe. So we're not just folding, we're coming into a twist to stretch out the left side of the back. Settle your shoulders away from your ears. Soften anything that doesn't need to work here. Come back to your intention. On your inhale, come on up. Right hand comes down, left arm comes out to the side, and then we reach the left arm up and overhead, heart reaching up for the sky. So breathing some space into your left side body. Inhale back to center, and then extend both your legs long. So we're coming into an L shape. Again, if the hamstrings are tight, I know a lot of us have tight hamstrings. Something underneath the hamstrings will help the body to actually stretch deeper because you're allowing the body to settle down. If you're trying to force stuff, you'll probably constrict and actually not get as good of a stretch. So nice and easy, easing in with your intention. Maybe rise your arms to find that tall spine. And then keeping as much bend into your knees, send your heart for your toes. Hands come maybe to the sides, maybe on the legs or around the feet. Keep reaching that heart up and forward for the toes. Settle the shoulders away from your ears. And allowing your intention to fill into the backs of your legs. See if you can watch yourself take 2 more full breath cycles. Inhale, lift yourself up. And then we're going to come back to a comfortable seat. So maybe sitting just cross-legged, maybe coming to sit up in a chair if that's the most comfortable for you. And then we're going to work on a little visualization meditation, bringing in, calling in this word. So this intention that we've set for practice. So first, find your tall spine. Close your eyes if they're not already. And see if you can condense your intention, if it's not already, into one word. So if your intention was to listen to my body, maybe your word is listen. Or if your word was to be kind to myself on the mat, kind is your word. So it's probably going to be a verb. That's probably the easiest to action and practice. And then start to breathe like this word. So if your word is strength, what does a strong breath feel like in the body? If your word is present, what is a present breath in the body? Really let your body feel that word. And we're going to sit here for a minute, breathing in this word and releasing anything unlike it. So just keep saying your word to yourself on your inhale. And then anything unlike it, let it fall out with your exhale. 1 minute here. If you've forgotten about your word, bring the word back into your inhale, exhaling anything unlike it. From here, softly flutter open your eyes. Just a few finishing things. Let's get into our necks a little bit. So bow your chin into your chest. And then just some very simple half neck rolls. So left ear to left shoulder. Chin comes back into chest. Right ear, right shoulder. And then just moving at your own pace, working with your intention and having that be the place that you move from. From here, take one more each side. And then take your head back to neutral. We're going to imagine we have a pencil on the top of our head and we're just going to draw little circles. So we're not taking full neck rolls, but we're softly finding a little bit of mobility in the neck, drawing on the ceiling, maybe closing your eyes. And then taking your circles the other direction. Coming back to center. And then from here, we'll find our way to legs up the wall, legs up a closet, legs up the fridge, legs up a cabinet, whatever you have in your space that is a safe thing for you to put your legs up. So this is a closet door. I like to use closet doors because I know that there's nothing on them and no one's going to come through them. So setting it up, tucking your hip and your shoulder in as close as possible. That's going to help with the setup in a minute here. Coming down to your elbows and then allowing the feet to come up the wall in an L shape. So we want the hips as close to the wall or whatever you're using as possible. If your hips are not close to the wall, instead of wiggling in and maybe pulling something in the back, come down and set it up. So taking the time to set it up. And then from here, listen to yourself, what feels good in the body for the arms. So maybe arms come out to the sides. Maybe the hands rest on the body somewhere. I recommend closing your eyes and just allowing yourself a couple minutes to feel into this pose. This is an inversion, a restorative pose. Allow yourself to relax here, to get a new flush of blood in the legs. It's normal to feel tingling in the legs. If it becomes too much, you can bend your knees, place the soles of the feet to whatever you have your feet or your legs on, and then rejoin us when you're ready. So from here, starting to slide your heels down, you have them up, bending your knees, and then rolling over to one side, making a little pillow for your head with your inner arm, and then using your free hand to press yourself up, and then we'll find a comfortable position on our backs. So setting yourself up on your back in a comfortable way, and just allowing yourself 1 minute here to let all the benefits of your practice settle in. So just being in your body as it is, letting go of any conscious efforts. 1 minute. Starting to take in conscious breath. Maybe repeating your intention to yourself, your word, your small phrase. And starting to move from that word, from that intention as you start to wake yourself back up. Finding yourself back into a comfortable seat, just like we began. Drawing your hands in a gesture of prayer at the heart, bowing your chin into your chest. Closing your eyes. And I just offer this. Can you carry this intention into the rest of your day? So checking in with yourself here and there, noticing where you're moving from, and if you need to move and switch to this place, move and switch to this actionable intention. And a lot of those small moments of awareness really make a huge difference in the way that we live our lives. Thank you all so much for being here, for making this important time for yourself. I'm really glad to join together as a community like this. Really grateful to Graham Park for having us. Happy New Year, and I'll see you again soon.